Aifer exclusive. Today we are going to discuss the previous year question paper from the topic environment. The topic environment is one of the best method. It is one of the best topic, will definitely help you to get more score. So listen carefully. Let's check our questions. So here we can check the first question. The first question is match the following pattern of the question. Here there is a list 1 and list 2. Then we want to match this. Here the list 1 contains environmental protocol, agreement, action plans, and list 2 contain the provisions. So A, Montreal Protocol, B, Paris Agreement, and C, Climate Action Plan, and D, Kyoto Protocol. And in list 2, the first one is Integrated Water Resource Management, and 2, Emission Trading, then 3, Phasing Out Ozone Depletion Substances, and the third, it's actually the fourth. So the fourth one is Phasing Out Ozone Depletion Substances. So here I think both the 3 and 4 are same. I think some mistakes are there, but we can check it. Okay, so here there is some matching. Okay, so we want to find out the Montreal Protocol is matched with provisions, and Paris Agreement, and the Climate Action Plan, then Kyoto Protocol. Let's check the answers. So the first one is the Montreal Protocol, and we can check what is Montreal Protocol is related to. So the Montreal Protocol is related to the substance that deplete the ozone layer. So it's related to the ozone layers. The Montreal Protocol is on the substance that deplete the ozone layer, and it is an international agreement that made in 1987, and it was designed to stop the production and import of the ozone depletion substances and reduce their concentration in the atmosphere to help protect the Earth's ozone layer. So it's mainly for the protection of the ozone layer and also to the Earth. So here we can check which one is related to the provisions. So here the Montreal Protocol is related to the provision 3, that is phasing out ozone depletion substances. Okay, so we can check the Paris Agreement. So Paris Agreement is a set outs of the global frameworks to avoid the dangerous climate changes by limiting global warming to below the 2 degrees Celsius and pursuing efforts to limit it to the 1.5 degrees Celsius. So the Paris Agreement is about to the climate change, to reduce the temperature and the global warming effect. So here we can check which provisional is related to that. I think the fourth one was the about the climate change, but some spelling mistakes, some corrections are there. So the Paris Agreement is related to the climate change. Okay, so then the next one is the Climate Action Plan. So option C, we can check what is the Climate Action Plan is. So let's check what is the climate action plans. So climate action plans are the increasingly common type of specialized plans that developed by the local governments to address the challenge of the changing climate. So it's related to the changing climate, and it's also, so here it is related with the emissions trading. That means the climate action plans are mainly focused on reducing the greenhouse gases. So to reduce the emissions of the greenhouse gases. So the climate action plan is related to the emission trading, that list 2, the provisions 2. Then we can check the Kyoto Protocol, the last one, D. What is the Kyoto Protocol? Then here we can check how the climate action plan, which the provisions is related to this. So here the climate action plan is related to the first provision, that is integrated water resource management. So we can connect as this both, how these are related. So climate change impacts have direct consequences for the water security and conflicts. Then the climate change manifests itself primarily through the changes in water cycle. So as climate change, the droughts, then floods and melting glaciers, sea levels rises, storms intensity of alter, then this too much effects are there. So it is related to that integrated water resource management is also a part of the climate action plan. So the C is related to the provision 1, and the last one is the Kyoto Protocol. Okay, then we can check what is the Kyoto Protocol is. So the Kyoto Protocol operationalizes the United Nations Framework's conventions on the climate change by committing the industrialized countries and economies in transition to the limit and reduce the greenhouse gases. So we can check what is the Kyoto Protocol is. The Kyoto Protocol is operationalize the United Nations Framework's conventions on climate change by committing industrialized countries and economies in transition to limit and reduce the greenhouse gases emissions in accordance with the agreed individual targets. So it's relations to the greenhouse gases emissions. So here the Kyoto Protocol is related to the emission trading. So the option D is related to 2. So here we can check what is our final answer and conclusion is. So here the final answer is option D. Here the Montreal Protocol is corrected to provision 3 and the Paris Agreement B is related to 4, but some corrections are there. Then the Climate Action Plan C is related to integrated water resource management, and the D Kyoto Protocol is related to the emission trading. Okay, so let's move to the next question. The next question is also a matching question. So match the following pattern of the question. Here the list 1 is contain the environmental awareness and the list 2 contains the examples of those objectives. So here list 1 the environmental awareness and the categories of the environmental education objectives. Then the list 2 is the examples of those objectives. Okay, so let's check what are the question about. Here in list 1 contains the environmental awareness, then environmental knowledge, then environmental attitude, then environmental skill. Then here the examples of those objects include first one to help social group and the individual identify and solve environmental problems, and second one is to help social groups and individuals acquire a set of values for the environment. Then the third one is to help social groups and individuals to acquire a sensitivity to the total environment. And the fourth one is to help social groups and individuals gain a variety of the experiences in environment and its association to problems. These are the lists. So here we can find out which one is connected with list 2. Okay, which of the list 2. So let's check. First one is the environmental awareness. So here the environmental awareness means being aware of the natural environment and making choices that benefit the earth. Okay, so I'm repeating again. The environmental awareness is being aware of the natural environment and making choices that benefit the earth. So it is rather than hurt it. So we have a lot of practices that include for the awareness programs include using safe and non-toxic building supplies, then conserving energy and water, then recycling activisms and others. So here we can check which provision is, which list is, which of the list 2 is related to the environmental awareness. So here the second one, to help social groups and individuals acquire a set of values for the environment, is matched with the environmental awareness. So A matched with the 2. Then let's check the option B. B is environmental knowledge. So we can check what is the environmental knowledge. So the environmental knowledge is the amount of information individuals have concerning environmental issues and their ability to understand and evaluate this impact on the society and the environment. Okay, I'm repeating again. So the environmental knowledge is the amount of information that individuals have concerning environmental issues and it's their ability to understand and evaluate its impact on the society and the environment. So let's check which one is here connected with. So here the environmental knowledge is connected with the first option, that's to help social groups and individuals identify and solve the environmental problems. So let's check the option C. The option C is the environmental attitude. So we can check what is environmental attitude is. So the environmental attitudes, or EA, are the psychological tendency that expressed by the evaluative responses to the natural environment with some degree of favor, of disfavor or disfavor. Okay, so I'm repeating again. So environmental attitude, or EA, are a psychological tendency that expressed by the expressed by evaluative responses to the natural environment with some degree of favor or unfavor or disfavor. Okay, so environmental attitudes are that the latent construct that are cannot be observed directly. So here we can check which one is related to the environmental attitude. Here the option C is in list 2 is related with the environmental attitude. It is to help social groups and individuals acquire a sensitivity to the total environment. It means the environmental attitude. Then the last one is environmental skill. Okay, so let's check what is environmental skill. So the environmental skills refers to the knowledge, abilities, values, and attitudes that needed to live and develop and support a society which reduces the impact of human activity on the environment. It's also about protections, environment protection. So here we know that the remaining option is option 4 from the list 2. So the environmental skills is also related with the option 4, to help social groups and individuals gain a variety of experiences in environment and its associated problems. So that's it. So we can check which are the correct answer or which are the correct options here. The correct option is option A. So A is related with the option 2 from the list, and B is related to 1, and C is related to 3, and the D is related to 4. So here the correct answer is option A. So let's check what is our next question. Now the question pattern is changed. So previously we checked the match the following pattern of the question. Here it is the assertion reason question. Okay, so I'm going to reading the question. So given below are two statements. One is called as assertion and the other is labeled as reason R. So assertion is A is the global warming potential of a molecule of a greenhouse gas over different time span of decades to 100 years may vary significantly. So I'm repeating again. The assertion A is the global warming potential of a molecule of a greenhouse gas over different time span of the decades to 100 years may vary significantly. So here the providing reason R is some greenhouse gases have shorter lifespans or shorter lifetimes compared to the carbon dioxide. So the reason is some greenhouse gases have shorter lifetimes compared to the carbon dioxide. So here the question is, in the light of the above statements, choose the most appropriate answer from the options given below. So the option A is both A and R are correct, and R is the correct explanation of the A, and B is both A and R are correct, but R is not the correct explanation of A. Then C is A is correct, but R is not correct. Then the last one D is A is not correct, but R is correct. So here we want to find out is the assertion and reasons are correct and there is any relation between this. So here assertion is the right one. It's correct that global warming potential of a molecules of a greenhouse gas over different time span of decades to 100 years may vary significantly. So there is so much variance in the greenhouse gases levels in the atmosphere in decades, and so the assertion is the correct one. Then we can check the reason also. The reason is some greenhouse gases have shorter lifetimes compared to the carbon dioxide. So it's also a correct statement that some greenhouse gases have shorter lifetimes compared to the carbon dioxide. So the reason is also correct. So we can check the assertion and reason are related or not. Here the reason is the correct behind the assertion that the global warming potential of the molecule of a greenhouse gas over different time span of decades to 100 years may vary significantly because some greenhouse gases have shorter lifetimes compared to carbon dioxide. So here we can check, we can move to the conclusion part. So here the correct answer is option A. Both A and R are correct, and R is the correct explanation of A. So here option A is correct one. Discussing the previous year question paper will definitely help you to understand the content and the pattern of the questions. So prepare well. All the best. Thank you.